So next up, let's talk about the occupations in computer science. For that, I'm going to show you a few YouTube videos, and we're also going to utilize the United States Bureau of Labor and Statistics. Okay, this is a group, just like you have the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, people that have been hired to investigate crime. There's also government institution whose job is to get statistics of everything that's going on in the US and also focusing on the labor force, okay? So they do have something known as an Occupational Outlook Handbook, looking at all occupations, how they're progressing, how they were, how things will be in future, but we will focus on computer and IT occupations. Does that sound good?
Yes, it does.
So once again, everybody has a copy of this on our Google Classroom. So let me jump into that so we can talk about it in depth. So here is what the website looks like. I'm going to take you to it in a little bit, but it does explain here that employment in computer and information technology, I think I should just go in there right away. Let's do US Bureau of Labor and Statistics. Okay. So again, about the US Bureau of Labor and Statistics, here's a synopsis. The Bureau of Labor and Statistics is a principal fact-finding agency for the federal government in the broad field of labor economics and statistics. So that tells you that these are real numbers, okay? This is not something that anybody would come about and tell you, hey, I think, I thought, and so on and so forth. So let's go in. From there, we can actually look at careers. No, we don't want careers. Occupations is what we want to focus on. So when we look at occupations, they're broken down into different groups, okay? And different wages as well. But what we want to focus on here is Occupational Outlook Handbook. So from here, you can see the different occupational groups. The one we're focusing on is computer and information technology. There are lots and other different types of groups. There's sales, there's production, there's personal care, there's also healthcare and legal and so on and so forth. But again, our focus is computer and information technology. So from here, you can see it tells you that occupations, I should make this bigger a little bit. The occupations are projected to grow 13% from a couple years ago to 8 years, okay? It's faster than the average. Everybody knows that IT jobs are hot, right? The occupations are projected to add about almost 700,000 new jobs. Now, this is focused on the US only. Now, if you look at the world at large, it's even bigger than that, okay? And the demand for these workers stem from greater emphasis on cloud computing, collection and storage of big data, and information security. So those three, again, stand out. I don't really concentrate a lot on the amount that you get paid because obviously that varies depending on your experience and the company, the industry, and other factors. So I don't really dwell on that. But the 10 sectors that I want us to talk about are these 10 sectors right here. The first one is research scientists. So computer and information research scientists. Those are the guys with masters and PhDs that are the ones that are innovating, okay? They design and innovate, they design innovative uses and new or existing computing technology. So for right now, all the new things that are going to come up in the market are going to be designed by these folks, okay? They are innovators. So depending on the company, the industry they find themselves, those are the ones that are usually the most highly paid and they're the most qualified. The next group is network architects. For computer network architects design and build data communication networks like local area networks and wide area networks. So if you're going to start a big company, you're going to need to have computers there. You're going to need somebody that's going to design how those computers are wired together. You know, in some cases, it might be just a small office. In other cases, it might be a big institution. So if Microsoft wants to create a headquarters in, or let's say Microsoft wants to create an office in Yaoundé, they're going to need a network architect to go and draw a network layout. You know, it will be a wide area network or a local area network, and that's it, their job is done. And then someone else goes and does the installation. Now, the next set of occupations is computer programmers. These are the people that actually write code, they modify the code or they test the code to be able to allow computer software and applications. Applications, again, is known for short as apps. So all these apps that we see on our phone, all the apps or the software that you see on computers, on servers, all those things that make us do all the things that we do in technology need to be created, modified, and tested by computer programmers. The next set is computer support specialists. So these guys are maintaining computer networks and provide technical help. So it's like the help desk. When you have an issue, maybe your computer is not coming on, or maybe the sound is not working, you call these guys and they'll be able to walk you through, you know, what your issue was. And then we have computer systems analysts. You know, I've been in most of these roles in different capacities. So computer systems analyst studies an organization And then it checks the computer system, designs way to improve it and make it work efficiently. Okay, so they are mostly process improvement guys. For instance, you can have a systems analyst for INEO, and they'll look at the INEO system and they'll say, you know what, it will be better for us to set things up so that the bill is every Monday or the bill is every 10th of the month, and so on and so forth. Try to make things better. Maybe set up a way that payments can be done online and so on and so forth. That's what systems analysts will do. Now, one that is very popular, everybody's talking about DBAs, database administrators and architects. So these are the guys that administration. Again, think about school. The headmaster is the one that administrates the school administration. The discipline master, those are the guys that administer the school. So database administrators, they're the ones that organize anybody's access to the data. For instance, they'll know that you are not supposed to go into this class. You're supposed to show up at school at this time, and so on and so forth. So administrators make sure that they create and organize a system that stores and secures their data. Everything runs on data, we know that. So we want to be able to have gatekeepers, people that are going to organize that data, make sure that it's also available. So they have to do backups, they have to do all this other stuff. Now, we talked briefly about information security, and we're going to talk more about it. But information security analysts will plan and carry out security measures to protect that organization's data. Just like we said, your house you live, you have to make sure you lock it up. Your car, you leave your car behind, you have to make sure you lock it up. So security analysts have to make sure that that lock that you have put in place is secure. It actually makes sure that your system is protected, your data is protected, your network is protected for malicious people, because trust me, there are hackers out there. There are different types of hackers. You also have competitors. Maybe Barcelona wants to hack into Real Madrid's network to be able to learn which are the players that they want to buy. Maybe Russia wants to hack into the USA network to be able to find out what the president and his team are planning, and so on and so forth. So it's not only hackers who are trying to get into your computer in terms of viruses. People are out there hunting for data, for one reason or another, whether it's for competition, whether they want to sabotage you, and so on and so forth. Okay. So next up, we have network and computer systems administrators. So what is a network? It's just a connection of computers. Okay. So these computer system administrators are responsible for the day-to-day operations of our network and your computer systems. Finally, we'll talk about software developers, quality assurance analysts, and testers. Very similar to computer programmers, but the difference is that software developers design computer applications and programs. They also test the software to make sure that it's not got any problems, it doesn't have any defects, it works perfectly as it's expected to. Finally, I think this is actually my favorite one, web developers and digital designers. So web developers create and maintain websites. I don't want to say websites, web apps, web applications. And the design, develop, create, and test other interface layouts, functions, and navigations of usability. So as you can see, there's quite a wide variety of areas in IT that you can learn yourself in. You can pick one that you find it curious, one that you excel in, one that you think you'd enjoy doing, and by all means, you should succeed in there. If we click on any one of them, it's going to give us more details, and it also gives us a short video, okay? So for instance, the first one I clicked on was research scientist. Maybe I want to go back and click on information security analyst. Okay, so those are the guys that do cybersecurity. It gives us more in-depth information. It tells you what they do. These are the different duties. It also tells you their work environment, how you can become one, the pay, the job outlook, telling you, okay, information security analysts are going to be needed about 33%, but now other computer populations, occupations about 13%, and so on and so forth. So that's a projected employment in about 10 years' time. And you can actually see the actual data that was collected when all of this was done. Now for the summary, before I play this video, I'm going to play another video, but again, if you navigate through all of those, I have all the notes in here for you. You should be able to see all the information that is required. Each one of these will take you to the actual link that I just opened up. So what questions do we have so far?
In terms of the careers.
Yes.
Yes, I noticed that you started from the very best. Let me say from the top.
Yes.
Yes, you started from the top right down to bottom. So to say, in case I've never done anything in IT, that I'm interested now. If I say I develop an interest in it, and I want to get into that field. where do I begin?
Very, very good question. Very, very good question. All right. So that's going to be what we'll discuss in the next part. Again, in the outline, I did mention that we'll talk about resumes, CVs, and portfolios. And then I'm going to differentiate these different computer occupations. The next thing we're going to talk about is those learning paths. Where do you begin? How do you approach this? So we'll definitely that was the perfect question for us to get a segue into our next topic. But yeah, I will definitely do my best to answer this to the fullest capacity that I can think of. Sounds good?
Yes, thank you.
Sweet, sweet. Any more questions? No more questions? Well, let's do a quick recap of what we just talked about. Computer and IT jobs. Again, this link is out there. There are 10 things that you need to know before you get into IT. And there's like 5 good things and 5 bad things. And that's a really good video that I really like. So it's out there for you guys to watch. I'm not going to go into that right now, but let's take a quick look at the overview of IT. And we'll just play this. It's a really short 1-minute video about, and then we'll carry on from there.
With the integration of the internet in most aspects of daily life, our collective use and reliance on information technology grows on a continual upward arc. Vast amounts of data stream through technology, used for business operations, governance, education, and entertainment. Keeping the information flowing and equipment working properly is the job of information technology, or IT, professionals. IT offers a great variety of both creative and technical careers, from designing and developing software applications, databases, and websites to providing customer support and ensuring information security. More so than perhaps in any other industry, many IT jobs can be performed remotely as long as a reliable internet connection is available. That said, several major cities represent the highest numbers of IT job openings: San Francisco, San Jose, Seattle, Los Angeles, Dallas-Fort Worth, and Chicago. A number of smaller cities are also adding significant numbers of IT jobs, including Austin, Charleston, Charlotte, Fort Myers, and Madison. The United States is the world's largest technology market, and the industry is a major contributor to our overall economy. Quick facts to know. Almost 550,000 new IT jobs are expected in the coming years, with substantial growth in information security, software and application development, cloud computing, and data storage. Information technology jobs are well-paying, with wages that are twice as high as the national average for all occupations. The U.S. accounts for 32% of the technology market worldwide, contributing over $1.7 trillion to the economy each year.
All right, so that was a quick fact. Do we have any questions on that? So I know the focus again is always on the US. Okay, that's where most of the data has been collected. But I can tell you that we can.
That's just what I wanted to say.
Awesome.
That is always on US. Like us in Cameroon, yes. How are we going to go about it?
Definitely, there are ways that you can leverage that, and we'll talk about it. Definitely. So thinking again about the world economy, we talked about the 5 biggest companies last time. FAMGA, right? Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and Apple. All those companies are in the US. All those companies are in IT. Those are the 5 companies that make up about $1.7 trillion every year. Okay, so it's huge. You have to leverage that. There's not a single day that any of us does not use these companies. All of us use these companies every day. If you check your email, you're using Google. If you go to WhatsApp, you're using Facebook. If you even go on Facebook, you're using Facebook. And if you shop a lot, you're using Amazon. If you're storing your text messages, pictures, or anything online, you're probably using Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud Services or Azure Cloud Services. So, I mean, no matter what you do, you're connected to these 5 companies somehow every day of your life, okay? So let's go now and watch another short video about careers. I think this is a good one because from there, I can actually point out again those 10 careers that we talked about. So let's check this out.
Job opportunities are expanding at a variety of education and experience levels in IT. Although training in computer science or software engineering can be an asset, for a number of jobs, employers are more interested in a candidate's experience, portfolio, and technical skills than in a college degree. Apprenticeships provide training on the job while you earn a salary. They are available for entry-level positions as computer operators, computer programmers, and information managers. In-demand IT jobs that require an associate's degree or bachelor's degree, along with some experience, include computer user support specialists, web developers, database administrators, computer network support specialists, information security analysts, data warehousing specialists, and software quality assurance engineers and testers. Workers who have significant experience and a bachelor's or graduate degree can qualify for positions such as computer network and database architect, computer and information research scientist, computer and information systems manager, software developer, or database architect. Is a career in IT for you? Keep these points in mind. In an industry that changes and upgrades constantly, workers must be willing to learn new software, coding languages, and other technologies on an ongoing basis. Remote or work-from-home opportunities are more common in IT than perhaps any other fields. While the majority of IT work is done in front of a computer screen, some fields also involve hands-on work to fix and maintain equipment. Attention to detail, flexibility, and cooperation are key aspects of many IT careers.
All right. So does that sound juicy to anybody? Does that help out?
It does. It does.
Yeah. So again, we do mention, we're talking about the US. In this case, we didn't really mention the US, but we mentioned a few things. With IT, you can work remotely. You can work anywhere in the world. Okay. Just like how we are all connected right now. All you need is a dedicated internet connection. Many of our brothers and sisters come to the US or go abroad and are interested in making money immediately, instantly. So they jump into the healthcare field. A little story about me: when I came to the US, I was actually coming to study a master's in nursing. But when I got in, I was required to go through a lot of prerequisite courses. So I refused. I told them, I think my education from UB is hard enough for me to be able to carry on. I'm not going to go through these courses. So I told them I'm going to go on my second option, which is IT. So instead, I did a master's in information systems. But then, a lot of people that I look up to as people to give me advice, they requested, hey, you are very good in what you do. I had a bachelor's degree in microbiology and life sciences from UB. You should, try becoming a doctor, a nurse. You're going to make a lot of money and so on. But it's not something you enjoy, okay? I enjoyed spending time on the computer. That's one thing too. If you're going to be interested in a career in IT, you should be comfortable on the keyboard. If you're scared to press keys on the keyboard, you need to learn how to get comfortable. Even if it's just typing a message, typing story about your life or a letter or replying emails, get used to it. Make yourself comfortable, because when you land that job and you're scared to type, you're using one finger to type, and it makes everybody see that, you don't have that experience that you so well showed in your resume. So get comfortable with this. Don't be worried about, what the future holds. Once you pick your sweet spot, you can go ahead from there, okay? So some of the things you can do, there are lots of jobs in IT, as they've already said, and you can create your own niche. One thing that I didn't mention, I know Melvin did say that I listed it in order of importance. I think it actually listed in alphabetical order. Okay, that was C all the way, and then you get to I, N, S, and W. But one of my favorite is a web developer, because most of these other occupations, as a research scientist, someone probably has to employ you, right? As a network architect, someone needs to call you to come and set up their network. Same as a programmer. So as a programmer and information systems, security analyst, and so on, database, we don't have a database. You need someone to call you to come and manage their database. But as a web developer, everybody needs a website. You don't need to work for a particular company. You can be an entrepreneur. You can decide to say, you know what, I'm going to learn this. I'm going to reach out to all the hotels in Cameroon and show them my portfolio. These are some of the websites I've built. Are you guys interested in building a website? They'll give you a quote, or you can give them a quote and, do some kind of proposal. If that's good, it's good and fine. You can reach out to each of the councils, maybe the mayor's office, and tell them you're interested in doing this. Think about all the businesses that eventually have to go online, because we are definitely getting there to that digital age. So you're never going to be short of opportunities. And the more you do, the more experience you gain, the easier it gets for you to do these things. And you're not going to be lacking. You can still do it as a side job, as a side hustle. I did it for the longest time in my career. I still do it today. I get people calling me like, hey, can you design me a website? I tell them, okay, if you're serious about it, get all your content. We'll sit down and get it done 2 weeks. Or if you need it urgently, there's a different price tag. If you don't really care, you want to take 1 month, that's fine. Once you set these standards, you can easily work just like that. Again, digital designers. I did mention that I'm on a trip. I'm not actually at home. I'm visiting a friend who lost a brother. I reached out to him. Do you need a flyer for the funeral? So created a flyer and a program. Those things are skills that have been developed over time. I have a younger sister who is graduating, and she reached out to me, big bro, I need a flyer for my graduation. I can probably get one done in a couple hours, maybe in 30 minutes. So when you build all of this, if I put it together, I'm going to be able to show that as, hey, here's my portfolio. Even if it's not related to the job, you can sell yourself that, hey, you're a hardworking person. You haven't been to school all these years, but because you were not in school, you learned these other skills on the side. And here is a portfolio to show all the different things you did. So does that make sense?
A lot of things.
Awesome. So yes, that gives us a good information. And unfortunately, I really wanted us to talk about the 10 things to know before getting into IT. But I talked about some of them. You have to be comfortable with a computer. In some cases, you have to work long hours when you're doing it as a database administrator. If the database goes down, they'll call you to come in and get things done. Coming in again doesn't mean you have to go there physically. They might just need you to wake up, get your laptop, and connect to your internet at home and do a few tests and restore the backup or something like that. Because each moment that the system is down, you're losing money, your company is losing money. So you have to be comfortable with that. You have to be comfortable with stress too. Sometimes it might get stressful. If the system goes down, everybody's on you and like, hey, can you get this back up, and so on and so forth. You have to also be willing to learn all the time, because we all know technology changes so fast. 10 years ago, we just had a mobile phone. Nobody's even thinking about that right now. But there's so much information out there, things are spinning so fast that we have to be able to say, you have to learn. The programming language that's selling today might not be even available in 10 years to come. Like Visual Basic and so on and so forth. Those are must know programming languages 10 years ago. But today, you need to know Java, Python, C#, and so on and so forth. So you have to be willing to learn new things. It's mostly the case in other fields. But yeah, having this in your back pocket is very powerful. You should be able to adapt in many, many situations. Sounds good?
Yes.
All right. So I think we took a little more time than I expected in that case. So let's move on to the next part, which is talking about understanding learning paths.